ons is diereliefhebbers hier by Groot FM 90.5, maar ek ken nie 'n groter diereliefhebber as Elsa Estreisen nie, so ek gee graag nou oor aan haar.
Baie dankie, Henry. Ja, die Vise-president by die Suid Afrikaanse Veterinêre Raad, of die SAVR, Dr. Nomsa Mnisi, kuier vanoggend by ons om oor die belangrikheid van hondsdolheid-inentings by troeteldiere te gesels, en sy sluit dan nou by ons aan via Zoom. So, good morning, Dr. Nomsa, and thank you so much for joining us.
Goeiemôre, baie dankie.
Dr. Mnisi, why should animal owners vaccinate their dogs and cats?
Well, in general, vaccination prevents diseases. So you vaccinate to prevent any disease that may happen to the animal. But in this particular day, we're promoting a vaccination against rabies, which is a viral killer disease of animals and all mammals, actually. So when you vaccinate the animals, when you vaccinate your pets, you are protecting the humans, you're protecting other animals as well, because rabies is only preventable, it is not treatable. So that is why we vaccinate, so that we can prevent the disease from occurring and save lives.
And what are the 3 common myths about rabies that people believe?
Well, people believe that rabies is treatable, so you can get it and go to the hospital and be treated later on, which is completely wrong, because the moment you see clinical signs in a human being and even in a dog, that is the end. So there is no more going back. The other thing that I believe in is that it's only from dogs, mainly from dogs. So they will, when they see a behavioral change or any other thing that may makes one suspect rabies, they don't really think of rabies, because it's only known that it comes from dogs. That is basically how the awareness has been. We've been promoting dogs, and the reason why we've been doing that is because dogs are them that are transmitting rabies. In South Africa, because of the is the animal that we use, that we have at home, compared to many other animals. Well, the other thing that the other myth that people can believe in is that rabies cannot be prevented. So they don't believe in taking their dogs or their pets, animals for vaccination, because they're like, once it's there, it's there. There's nothing that you can do about it, which is completely wrong. It's not so. It can be prevented, 100% preventable for that matter.
Mm-hmm. Now, what must be done to control this deadly virus?
One is vaccination, which we've already spoken about. 2, to control the dog population. Dogs multiply in such numbers out there in the communities that today you vaccinate and you come back the following day, you come back the following month, there's a complete new population. So let's let the communities control the dog population. Don't have so many dogs that you don't even know what to do with them. Mm-hmm. And you don't even feed them, don't even take care of them in a proper way. And the other thing, things do happen. You might find that, after everything has been said and done, you do get bitten by a rabid dog. The most important thing is to know that you have to get health care immediately as in the books say it's 24 hours, but we recommend 12 hours. Within that same day, immediately go for help. The first thing that you do, you wash the wound with soap and water. You really flush it, so that whatever could have been there, whatever virus or bacteria, is flushed out. And then you go for medical help. But the important thing is that when you get there, indicate that you suspect that that the dog that has bitten you or the animal that has bitten you could be rabid, because of the things that you saw, the behavioral changes, and also that it probably attacked you without provocation. So the health, the health givers, they will now assess the situation. and they will ensure that you get what we call post-exposure prophylaxis, so that even if the virus settle in your body, and you will not then get the disease itself. So those are the important things that we need to do. But the main thing is vaccinate your animals.
Yes. Dr. Mnisi, I still have a couple of questions left, so please stay tuned. Ons gaan nou voort met hierdie gesprek.
So daar's klaar 'n paar interessante goed wat ek geleer het. Ek dink die probleem hoekom ons dink Elsa dat dit net van honde afkom is die Afrikaans. Ons moet eintlik die Afrikaanse taal daar blameer want dit staan bekend as hondsdolheid. So ek dink mense het daai outomatiese koneksie of verwysing wat mens maak.
Ons gaan voort met vanoggend se gesprek. Daar word vandag wêreldwyd bewusmaking geskep rakende hondsdolheid. En die Vise-president by die Suid Afrikaanse Veterinêre Raad, oftewel die SAVR, Dr. Nomsa Mnisi, gesels vanoggend met ons oor die belangrikheid van hondsdolheid-inentings by troeteldiere. So, good morning, Dr. Nomsa Mnisi again, and thank you for joining us. We are continuing with this discussion. You've referred to the importance of, dogs and cats being vaccinated, but when should this be done?
Well, small animals, puppies should be vaccinated from at 6 weeks, if the mother was vaccinated. So we vaccinate them at 6 weeks, and from there it's done. You give the booster in a month's time, and then you give annually. So the vaccination should be done preferably between a year and 3 years. So in high-risk areas, like where you've got high-risk areas, that will be done every year. So every 12 months, you must boost the vaccination. In low-risk areas where there's not much of a problem with rabies, you can do it as long as you have done it within 3 years. But after 3 years, you must make sure that you do it again. So that is the frequency that we do. If you do not know the status of an animal, you don't know whether it was or not, never vaccinated, or the mother was not vaccinated, you treat it as it was not vaccinated. So you give it the first shot, a month later you give it a booster, and from there you give it annually, be it a year or 3 years.
What are the symptoms when a human is infected with rabies?
Oh, that's so sad. Because you don't even get to interact with the person. The first thing the common thing that you see is they have fear of water. When you come with a glass of water next to them, they just don't want. They just scared. They become somehow. Then they also tend to be they tend to have funny sounds. They literally bark like dogs. And then there will be never signs, they'll be basically mad. There will be never signs. They will not be able to hold anything in their throats. They will not be able to. And it, those never, it's just never signs. But the main thing that you see is fear of water, and also this particular bark sound that I'll call it a barking sound, and paralysis.
And what are the steps to follow when you think that you've been bitten by a rabid animal?
Immediately, just when the animal leaves you, you get to a tap of water, you flush the wound for 15 minutes with soap. So soap and 15 minutes flushing it out. Don't use a bath. Try to use running water. In that way, you are making sure that whatever virus is there, you're reducing the viral load. So you're getting rid of whatever virus that might be there. And by the way, you do not say, it's just a puncture wound, it's not open, because they are viruses. We know that about corona now. They can get through any surface. So even if it's such a very small wound, just make sure that you try and flush it out. And also you get help. And then after you've done that for 15 minutes with soap and water, then you rush to the clinic or the hospital. But make sure that you indicate that you have been bitten by a dog that you suspect might be rabid. If that facility that you went to does not does not cater for the rabies post-exposure prophylaxis, because it's not every, and they will refer you to the district facility, or they will then continue with the protocol. So they will give you that shot on day 0, the day that you come in, and then there will be consecutive days that will be for until 28 days. So you do not stop at one shot. They will tell you, come on, it's day 1, and then you come back on day 5, and so on and so on. But then in the process, whilst they are giving you that post-exposure prophylaxis, veterinary services, that you were bitten by a dog. We look for that dog. We check its history, and should it be, showing signs and whatever
Dr. Mnisi,
warrants us that we must. Yes, ma'am.
I do apologize, but it seems like we are experiencing some technical difficulties with the line. But thank you so much for joining us this morning. Dit was dan Dr. Nomsa Mnisi, die Vise-president van die Suid Afrikaanse Veterinêre Raad, wat met ons gesels het oor hondsdolheid.
Ek dink soveel goeie inhoud wat 'n mens daai het. Ons vra om verskoning vir daai tegniese uitdaging wat klankkwaliteit aanbetref, maar ek dink die belangrikste Elsa wat sy uitgebring het is dat 'n mens regtig so gou as moontlik jou dokter moet spreek of jou naaste kliniek, en moet dit nie net vanselfsprekend aanvaar van ag dis okay, dit is nie so ernstig nie.
En ek dink dis baie maklik om soms so bietjie nalatig te wees wanneer dit kom by hierdie inspuitings en inentings van jou troeteldiere.
Definitief.
So dit is nogal belangrik om daai ook op datum te hou.
Definitief.
Ja.
Hanteer jou troeteldier soos jou kind.
Natuurlik, hulle
So.
is ons kinders.
Kom ons gaan groei.